Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. We're getting ready to add a little patio slab here on the side of this new retaining wall. This retaining wall is going to come up an extra couple courses here, and at the same time we're going to start prepping for the patio addition, removing the grass area. Now, even in any situation where you have any kind of green foliage or anything that can decompose, you have to remove it before you put concrete on it, because what happens is that could decompose in the future and leave you a lot of hollows underneath your concrete. So you got to get rid of anything of that nature out from under the concrete, get down to good dirt. Yeah, even if you have to bring in a base material, if your new elevation's higher than the lawn or tree roots or whatever it might be, you may have to bring in base after you remove the lawn or whatever. If that's the case, that's just the way it has to be. Otherwise, that stuff's going to die out underneath the concrete and cause you a lot of problems in the future. You can see how we've dug that dirt out in a step down right there. That's because we're going to continue at the existing concrete level out a couple feet to where that retaining wall steps up. We'll have a step in the patio as well. That way we can minimize changing the grade of the entire lawn area. And the concrete that we're going to be putting in will be close to the same level as the existing lawn. And the water can run off of the patio very easily into the dirt. Now, if we were to stay at that level of the patio all the way back, you'd have a big area where the water would set and never drain. So here's what the basic foundation looks like on a retaining wall and fire pit. This is before you put the decorative treatments on the walls and the caps. So what we'll do next, we'll pour the slab here. We've got the number 3 rebar at about 18-inch to 2-foot centers. We've put some angles on the corners of those protruding wall corners. That's where concrete typically likes to crack. Put those in, and that buys you a little more time to get your joints in. Right here we're using a 2500 psi 3/8 pea gravel mix. We're pouring at about 5-inch slump. We have that rebar blocked up on just broken chunks of block, which is really the best height. It's only about 1.5 inches, maybe a little less, maybe about 1 inch off the ground. That way you know it won't come up into the surface. You have good depth below the surface where potentially could rust. If you get them too close to the surface, the rebar, they could potentially rust, and if that happens, they will expand. Steel expands when it rusts. It will actually blow the surface of the concrete right off of the rebar. So it's better to have rebar low than high. Just remember that. That's an important detail. I used a 2x8 here, even though the step's only 5 inches. A lot of times I don't even bother ripping lumber. If I've got a nice 2x8, I may want to use that on another job at some point. So I'll just snap a line on it, maybe drive a couple nails on that chalk line so I don't lose that elevation. Or maybe you could put some chamfer on there so you have to maintain a straight line. A lot of ways to do it without ripping lumber down. So I like to save big chunks whenever possible for other jobs that might require a higher step. So try to salvage your wood if you can. Now you see I'm using steel stakes there. So obviously you're not going to want to cut them to make them flush with the form. Otherwise you'd run out of steel stakes real quick. But on the wood stake end of it, yeah, you could cut those. It wouldn't be bad. But if you're using steel, I don't recommend cutting them at the top of a form. You'd be wasting a lot of money. The basic finishing technique of these is you rod it with a straight edge, hit it with a bowl float, could be wood, magnesium, fiberglass. Wait for that water to evaporate off the surface before you hit it with the steel. You can work it with other tools, wood floats, funny floats, fiberglass, things of that nature. Get your joints in there. Wait till you till it's kind of a dull looking surface instead of a sheen. Then you'll be good to go with a Fresno, a funny trowel, all your steel tools. And by doing that, if you hit it early with your steel and there's still a sheen of water on the surface, that means you could potentially have what they call crazy cracking. That is water entrapped under the surface, which would cause that. And also another thing it can cause is discoloration. Water entrapped in the surface of concrete won't come out, and so it'll leave it darker looking forever. There's ways to alleviate those problems with simple white distilled vinegar. It's kind of an acid etching, very light duty, that will open up the pores and allow the surface water to possibly come out. Or you can always sandblast it in extreme conditions. Here's my funny trowel. I really love that tool. It saves you one more outing out there on the knee boards. So this patio existing is sloping to the left here, and my other patio is sloping to the right. So it was a tricky situation on this step face. Now everything's going to be getting covered with tile. The face of the step, the entire patio, the existing patio is going to get tiled. So the finish is really not that crucial. But I have to tell you, when I put them on video, I like them to make them look good anyway, whether they're going to be getting covered or not. So that's what I'm going to do here. Just kind of do my normal routine. This way, if they don't have the money right now to put the tile on, it can still be used, and it's not an eyesore. Potentially on something like this, you're going to get tiled, you could just bowl float it and walk away. Go, okay, bring the tile guys in, but now this is how I like to do them. Perfect every time. I just don't know any other way. Anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, on the right or top left of your screen, you're going to see another video. It's probably going to be part 2 or part 3 of this same job, or maybe something similar, so you can always go to that and see some more. And if you like these or like my channel, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notified when I upload a new one. Then you can get the latest and greatest updates as they roll out. Thanks for watching. Bye.